Hey guys, how is everyone? I'm back with another message, and today's title is going to be Getting to Know Pure Evil. Getting to Know Pure Evil. And I'm going to talk about my verses first, and then I will jump into the topic, and I hope you enjoy it. So the first verse is going to be Psalm 51:5. Our children, like us, are conceived in iniquity and born in sin. Make no mistake, the enemy of our hearts and our children's hearts is already here, waiting for our sins to consume them. So the enemy is waiting here already for our sins to consume our children. The next verse is Ephesians 6:11 through 12, 13, and 14. Wear the full armor of God. Wear God's armor so that you can fight against the devil's evil tricks. Our fight is not against people on earth. We are fighting against the rulers and authorities and the powers of the world's darkness. We are fighting against the spiritual powers of evil in the heavenly world. That is why you need to get God's full armor. So stand strong with the belt of truth tied around your waist. And the last verse is going to be in King James Version, John 8:44. Ye are of the father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So, getting to know pure evil, folks. We have got to know our enemy if we want to fight him. And make no mistake, he has gotten to know us, our fathers, our grandfathers, our mothers, our grandmothers. The devil knows us all. All right, so I'm going to talk about being possessed by impure spirits. And a lot of times this can happen to our sons or daughters because of strongholds being placed by the parents and their sins and iniquities. So some of those possessions can stem from maternal hatred that stemmed from a mother neglecting a son or daughter. So as an example of this, I'm going to talk about Ted Bundy and his relationship with his mother, and Charles Manson and his relationship with his mother. And then I will pull it all together. Just stay with me, folks. Ted Bundy. He expressed a lifelong resentment toward his mother for never telling him about his real father. She left him to discover the truth about his paternity for himself. Bundy exhibited disturbing behavior at an early age. His mother was reportedly emotionally distant and struggled with mental illness. Bundy said their relationship was strained and described feeling abandoned by her at a young age. Bundy also believed that his mother was also his sister. which would explain the neglect if he was a product of her being assaulted by their father. Also, the shame of incest would bring about great trauma. And then Charles Manson, his mother was Kathleen Maddox, and she was sometimes there and sometimes locked away in prison. Manson's memories of her are a drunken monster who was solely responsible for who he had become. It is said that she once sold her son for a pitcher of beer to a waitress at a local bar. He said that he was retrieved by his uncle several days later after the fact. She gave birth to him at 16 with no father present. She then reportedly supported herself as a sex worker and claimed his father was one of her various clients. Her birth certificate that was produced for Charles Manson originally said no name Maddox because she had refused to give her baby a first name at the time of birth. Later, she said that she wanted to wait for her mother to come up with the name, and the mother ended up naming Charles Manson after the father, which would have been his grandfather. While he was an infant, she was arrested for hitchhiking, and when he was 6, she went to prison for robbery of a gas station. She married a man named Manson, so Charles took his name, and that would have been his stepfather. The relationship ended, and Charles was sent to live with an aunt and uncle. When she was released from prison, Charles was already a criminal, so she sent him to the Catholic Reform School for Boys, where he had continued stints behind walls of correctional facilities ever since then. In 1955, Manson married a 15-year-old, and it was believed that she was already pregnant when they married. So these two men, and we know their histories and the crimes that they had committed, and the infamous stories of their lives. So these examples can truthfully